What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is episode 6 of my Quitting Social Media as a Teenage Loser series. And today, July 1st of 2025, marks 6 months since I decided to quit social media. It feels really crazy that we're already halfway through 2025. I feel like it just started yesterday. Last episode was 3 months since quitting social media, and so much has happened in my world since then. I went to prom. I graduated high school. I celebrated Pride Month. I started my summer job just a few days ago, and now we're here in July already. It's crazy. But anyways, more importantly, last episode I confessed to you all that I had recently relapsed and decided to log back into my old Instagram account. But that was only done because I needed to find a roommate for college. And since then, I actually have found one who I really like and I'm excited to live with. We were able to connect within about 3 weeks of me logging back in, and once we confirmed that we would be living together, I decided to deactivate my Instagram account. At the time of recording the last episode, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was thinking about just logging back out and logging into Instagram whenever I wanted to, or maybe deactivating my account, or perhaps deleting the whole thing altogether. And for some reason, the idea of deleting my account is still really daunting to me. I'm not even sure why, but I decided not to do that just yet. I deactivated it, which means I can still log back in whenever I want, but as long as I'm logged out and deactivated, nobody has access to my profile whatsoever. It's just as if I deleted it, except my data is still out there. I just need to unlock it if I were to choose to. So, I think it was in April or May. Yeah, I think early May when I officially deactivated it. And that was a really weird feeling. It was like saying goodbye to a little child that I've given birth to and raised and taken care of for all this time. And now I'm just getting rid of it. I don't know. I went through the whole grieving process of quitting social media all over again. Even though I wasn't super active on there in the relapse, I was just DMing people who were going to the same college as me. And like I said back in episode 1 or 2, social media addiction isn't really the kind of addiction that you would get withdrawals from. But all over again, I was getting bored and irritable and restless, just craving the blue light, needing it more than anything in the world. It was kind of pathetic, if I'm being honest. But I knew how to cope with it this time, so I was able to get over it easier. And eventually I did, and now we're here. And halfway through this year, and this challenge, I guess, I think I've come to the terms with the fact that life is a lot better without social media. I remember in June last year, I was looking at all the Instagram posts of the class of 2024 at my high school and seeing the pictures they posted with their favorite teachers, showing off what they wrote on their grad cap and all that stuff. And, my junior year self couldn't stop thinking oh man, I'm so excited to make a post when I graduate. And now, I didn't make a post because my account isn't really around anymore. I still made sure to take a lot of pictures at my graduation ceremony. It was really fun. It's kind of a weird feeling. On a little bit of a side note, I'm not that sad about the fact that I graduated high school, but it's not I'm relieved either. It's just kind of well, that's done with. Anyway. It's just a weird feeling. Maybe I haven't fully come to terms with it yet, but I don't know. The transition from high school to college is really weird so far, but I'm sure I'll get the hang of it at some point. Anyways, I didn't have to worry about which 10 photos I liked the best to share with the world, or what funny caption I was gonna write, or how salty I wanted to look about graduating, or how sad I wanted to look. It wasn't about appearances anymore. It was more capturing this moment because it's so crazy. And honestly, between things like this, graduating and prom and my senior trip and all these things, I still want to be able to hold on to memories, except it's changed the way I do that. You know what I mean? I used to like photography just for the sake of putting it online, but now I like it for myself. And it's going to sound really random, but honestly, Google Photos has been my best friend lately. It's not the kind of thing that I'm doom scrolling through, but I have been spending a lot more time on it. I've been making albums of special moments graduation again and sending them to all the important people in my life, like family and friends. And it just feels so much more special to send it directly to the people that I actually care about rather than just my 200 and blah 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 followers, who half of which I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if Jane Doe in the next town over, who I know peripherally through 3 mutual followers, likes my graduation pictures. I care if my parents like my graduation pictures, or my best friend. I guess what I'm trying to say is this whole process has really changed the way I value photography and the idea of capturing things. I don't have one of my own yet, but my sister actually has a digital camera that she got on Amazon for like $25 or something, I think. And she's noticed that I'm really fascinated by it, so she lets me borrow it sometimes. And I love taking pictures on this thing way more than taking pictures on my phone. It's gonna sound really cheesy, but honestly, I've noticed that every time I take a picture with a digital camera, I smile right after clicking the button. In contrast to on your phone when it's just boop and you're done. Like, there's just something so sentimental about using a digital camera and like taking the time to angle it, get the right lighting, make sure the picture looks good, and then uploading it to your computer and emailing it to yourself so you can see it on your phone. You just put so much more care and thought into the process of photography when you're doing it that way, rather than just taking a blurry, poorly lit photo on your phone and then it getting buried in your files and you forget it even exists. And speaking of using slightly older technology in contrast to a smartphone, I think I mentioned a few episodes back, since starting this whole series, even going back to like November or December of 2024 when I first started contemplating quitting social media, I've been doing a lot of research about a conceptual object out there called a dumb phone. I think I talked about it in maybe like episode 3 or 4. I don't know. It was a while back, like several months ago now. But a dumb phone is basically a thing you can create on your smartphone where you like delete all the apps except for just texting and calling pretty much. Some people decide to keep Google Maps or their camera or maybe even Gmail, but the entire point is to get rid of all the games, social media, YouTube, even Google, and just like only keep the things that a phone was designed to do. So that way when you dumbify your phone, you get like, it's not a smartphone anymore, it's just when you dumbify your phone, you're only going to be using your phone anymore when you really need to. It's not going to be wasting your time, and you'll probably only be using it like a total of 20 minutes each day, if that. And when I first heard about this thing, my thoughts were somewhere along the lines of, oh, that sounds cool, but I don't know if I'm into this enough to commit to something like that. It just sounds a little too hardcore. But the more I've been thinking, I feel like that might not be a bad idea, honestly. I've wanted to dumbify my phone, I really do. I think it would save me so much time and just clear my head so much. But unfortunately, not everybody's able to do that. We live in a world full of two-factor authentications and QR codes and text messages and all these things that are only accessible on a smartphone. And especially now that I'm starting college, there are so many things that I need my phone to be smart for. You know, even just when I'm signing into my Gmail account for my college on my phone, I need to do the two-factor authentication just to get in and have access to my grades and everything like that. One thing that I was able to delete was Google, which you wouldn't even think that's allowed, especially since I have a Google phone. You know, I deleted the YouTube app, but I can still view it in a Google Chrome tab. So I was still watching YouTube videos, scrolling through Reddit. I would log back into Pinterest every now and then. It's like my brain was so desperate to just scroll through something, no matter what it was. So my thought process was like, okay, Google's the enemy. I need to get rid of Google and then everything will be okay. And for the most part, I have been spending a lot less time on my phone after doing that. There have been a few instances now and then where I needed to reinstall it in order to do something, whatever that might be. That's kind of the beauty of a dumb phone, honestly, is that you can always make it smart again if you want. It's like not permanent, you know what I mean? because your phone still remembers all your old apps and data that you think you got rid of, but you really didn't. Which is kind of scary now that I say it out loud. It makes me feel like I'm being watched. But whatever, I'm on YouTube, so everybody already knows me. No, but I think one day I do want to completely dumbify my phone. I think the end goal would probably be only having like texting, calling, Google Maps, which, yeah, I could live without, but, like, I'm an idiot when I drive. Like, I'm always accidentally taking the wrong exit or missing a turn or something, so I kind of need that one, honestly. And maybe I would also keep Gmail, just in case. And also the stupid authenticator apps, even though the boomer in me hates authenticators more than anything in the world. Like, it's so annoying. I have my password, just let me into my freaking account. Whatever. Anyways, maybe before next episode I'll be able to. I guess I could tell you about that in my 9-month video, which should be out around, I guess, October, if that's correct. Because right now I'm not really in a situation where I'm able to have a completely dumb phone. My phone's not dumb, but it's not smart either. It's just kind of there, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'll let you know in a future episode. I'm really hoping that I could get that to work out, though, because I think that would, like, be the key to achieving nirvana here. You know what I mean? Like, that is really the end goal. I love the idea of, instead of having a smartphone, being able to carry around, like, a watch to tell the time and a digital camera to take pictures and a notepad to write things down. You know, like all these other ways of doing things that my phone has just kind of ruined for me without even realizing it. But anyways, dumb phone aside, now is the obligatory part of the video where I tell you how I've been keeping myself occupied since quitting social media after 6 months. So I think I mentioned in the last episode that I just started reading The Divine Comedy, and I was really enjoying that. I mean, I'm a slow reader to begin with, but like this time I was reading really slow. I love all the lore. I think Dante was a super talented author here. It was really fascinating, but it just wasn't holding my attention. I think in like 2 months, I didn't even finish Inferno. Like, I wasn't even a third of the way through the entire trilogy. So I decided to just put it down for a while, and I went to the library near my house one day and just picked up something random off the shelf. I chose a book called Noir. I forget what it's called, but I'm going to put a picture up on the screen so you guys can look it up. It's really good so far. I've been reading that much quicker. It's just as entertaining as The Divine Comedy, but this one's actually like holding my attention, so I really appreciate that. I haven't really been making as much artwork lately because I've just been so busy in the past few months with high school ending and the summer starting and all that. I did decide as like an end of the year senior send-off thingy that I wanted to give a bunch of my old paintings and drawings and embroidery projects to my favorite teachers at my school. Most of them were old. I think a new one I made was a painting of Freddie Mercury that I gave to my band teacher. And he really loved it and put it up on the wall immediately, which was awesome, and it made me really happy. Part of the objective of this whole project was just like trying to get rid of art that I didn't want to be sitting in my house while I'm not even living here and I'm away in college. But it also was really fulfilling to know that what I did made these teachers feel happy and seen, I guess, because teaching is just such a underrated profession. I feel like they work so hard and earn so little for what they do. Teachers make the world go round and nobody cares enough about it. It just makes me kind of sad sometimes. I've also been going to the movies in the theaters more often lately rather than just like sitting on my couch at home and watching something on Disney Plus, because you know, the further down the anti-social media rabbit hole I go, the more I've started to hate other things, and one of those things is streaming services, believe it or not. But that's probably like a whole nother video I'm gonna make. So maybe you should subscribe so that you can stay tuned and be there when I make it. No, but I've been going to the theaters. I just saw 28 Years Later, which I only learned after watching that apparently that's a sequel to a different movie called 28 Days Later. I had no idea about that, but I still really enjoyed this, and it held up without having seen the first movie. I'm not even into scary movies a lot, but this one was really good. I really liked it. And another way I've been keeping busy is I just started my summer job. I'm not going to tell you what it is just for privacy reasons, but I have been working outside and it's summer, so I'm like sweaty and disgusting all the freaking time, even after I shower. And oftentimes when I get home, I just want to go to sleep because I'm like so exhausted. Anyways, I think that about wraps up all I've got to say for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning back in. I really appreciate those of you who have stayed through with this entire series so far. I feel like honestly my audience is like declining a little bit with each episode. So it means the world to me that you stuck around and watched up until episode 6. Now, between now and when I film episode 7 is actually when I turn 18, so there's going to be even more change that I'm going to be talking about in October, and I'm really looking forward to it. So please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. Stay tuned with this series. We're halfway through, which is just crazy to think about, and I'd really like to see you stay tuned for the second half. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.